let's start the podcast.
I could put you in the brig for what you've done, but I won't do it.
All right. Two Al's, one pod. We are the spin-off of the web series The Two Dicks, which is on YouTube, which you can check out 2 seasons of. I'm Al Romas. I'm in Barcelona, Spain, out of the Caribbean, out of Florida, in Europe. And that is Al Ducharme. He's on the Symphony of the Seas. He's got a bunny rabbit behind him. You can see it if you're on the Patreon, which why wouldn't you be? And I don't know where Alfred is today. I'm going to guess a sea day. That's my guess. Let's check in with Al. How are you, buddy? And where are you?
Well, first of all, Romas is in one of my favorite cities, Barcelona. I don't know if you were able to experience it because you had to fly in the night before on minimal sleep, 24-hour travel day. Your flight was delayed, whatnot. And it's the F1, so your hotel is away from everything. So you really weren't able to expose yourself other than outside of your window, your hotel window to the passerbys. Were you able to get a nice Spanish meal in, or they have great restaurant? I love that whole vibe there, that city. I've been there many times. I just love it.
Well, first of all, you didn't answer where are you?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. My ADD kicked in. I'm heading to Cape Canaveral, and we're going to be docking in a couple hours. We sailed from Bayonne. We had the sea day. And now we're coming in late, like 1:00 in the afternoon to Cape Canaveral. And then we have 3 shows tonight. So no Kennedy Space Center tour for Al Ducharme.
If you want to have a little fun there in the comedy room tonight, ask anyone if they're from Florida. There usually be 1 or 2 people, and then hit them with did you look at the fucking itinerary? Because they flew from Florida to Newark to get on a ship in Bayonne to sail to Florida.
I'm doing it. I'm opening up with that. It's a good
Laughter
icebreaker.
will ensue.
Yes.
Laughter will ensue.
Thank you for that one. And I have permission and no residual.
I did a summer of Oasis a year ago or so, and I've got a few of those. So yeah,
send me a couple of more.
To answer your question, no. I've been to Barcelona. I've had in the past, but this trip, no. I got into the hotel in the afternoon, late afternoon, no sleep, 24-hour no sleep. Oof. So I laid down, slept for about 3 hours, and then woke up. It was around 7 or 8, and the hotel was on the outskirts, as we've talked about, because of F1, Formula One race. So it was just a hotel on the outskirts, the Barcelona Airport Hotel, the BAH. And it was fine, a basic hotel.
Mm-hmm.
But the food at that hour was a bar. They had a bar with bar food, like American bar food. And it was fish and chips, cheeseburger, or yeah, it was. So then I ordered a cheeseburger.
No paella, no fancy schmancy.
No tapas of any, nothing. Just burger and chips, fish and chips. So I get this burger, and I said I'll take it to my room because the bar was dead, no one's there, nothing on TV. I go, just take it to the room, and then of course we got the language barrier.
Sure.
So he's like, yes,
it's waiting for
service.
You, sir.
Yes. Yeah, it was like room service. I go, well, I'll take it. I go, no need for anyone. I'm here. And I'm doing animated arm movements. I will carry it myself to the room. And he's like, yes. And then, of course, I'm sitting there, I'm looking at my phone, and I see a waiter walk by with a tray and a white cloth on it and a burger, and I'm like, whoa, hey, but I don't know. So I go, are you going to 368? And he's like, what? I go, 368, 36, and yes, room service. I go, no, I'm going to take that. That's mine. And
oh my God,
became a thing. And then
because there's a huge fee for room service.
Yeah,
you can end up spending like 46
more than
bucks for a
it
cheeseburger.
was more than the food, the
Yeah.
actual room service charge. So I said, I go, I'll just take it. I'm going to take it. And then the guy's like, oh, how do I take it? And I'm like, well, do you have a, okay. So I take it. So I'm walking to my room with the actual tray with the white, like I look like a room service guy who didn't bring
You
his
wanted a little
uniform.
cardboard box to take
Yes,
for takeaway.
yes. I look
I
like I
think the
work for the hotel and
takeaway
didn't get
they
a
should
uni.
know that should cut through the language barrier. Takeaway, because that's like a European thing. Takeaway.
I didn't
Whereas we
say
say I say
takeaway.
takeout. I say takeout.
Yeah.
I grew up
Yeah,
with
I said to
takeout.
go because I go
To
to
go.
go because I'm in the hotel. Can I just
Mhm.
get it to go? You know, you walk down, can I get that to go? And they're like, yeah, of course. But it was just weird. I'm sitting, so then then I get it, and it was fine. It was, it was fine. And but I finished that meal, and then I was like, I can't keep my eyes open. Like they're locking. I've never been this tired. And I laid down and I slept 13 solid.
Wow.
May have peed
Wet
once,
the
didn't
bed.
get up
May have
though.
wet the bed
Yeah,
once or twice.
yeah, I didn't get up. We went for the same joke, but 13 straight hours, man.
That's well,
And
your body was saying something. It was like shutdown mode. It was
yeah,
hibernation mode. And you have to do that.
yeah,
Sometimes you got to do it. I haven't
yeah.
done the 13-hour one in many years, but I have done the 9 and 10 hours, which is huge because I'm like a 6 or 7 hour guy now.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I that was
But
double at least my norm. At
wow,
least. Yeah, it
your
was,
your body
you
was
know.
like your body was like, hey man, you're not 25. Let's go.
No,
Shut it.
we're
Shut
shutting
down.
down.
Whoop whoop whoop. Shut down.
And of course I always try to eat healthy and shit now. And then of course I have a burger and fries and then do 13 hours. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like the worst shit you could have. And then just lay down and not move for 13 hours. But
Oh, good.
it was, I mean, the flight, remember I was worried it was Discover Air, which was part of Lufthansa. But luckily I bought a seat because when I got the seat, they put you in economy in the back.
Buy the seat.
So I bought a seat which was premium economy.
Mm-hmm.
Premium economy on Discover is like first class, whereas economy was a bag of peanuts and a soda. I had 3 meals. I had utensils, metal, fork and knife.
How much was that?
$61.
No.
$61 to take you out of the back and a bag
Are
of
you
peanuts
shitting me?
and give you 3 meals. I think
You'll get 2 meals in economy on an international flight, but 3 meals with utensils.
They
Wow.
were getting snacks.
No.
They were getting snacks. Yes. Yes.
You witnessed it? They didn't get
I
like a hot
witnessed-
sandwich and like a piece of aluminum.
No, dude, the guy behind me, that was economy. That row started economy. They were getting snacks, but you could buy what you're talking about. You could buy a sandwich.
Really? So
Yes.
the flights must be super cheap then.
Yeah,
Because
it's
the dirty
Discover's-
stepchild of
right.
Lufthansa, right?
Right. But premium economy is for $61.
For $61, that's a
You're
no-brainer.
in first class. You're in
Yeah.
first class now.
Did you
Yeah,
have
it was,
did you get a little bit of a recline on your seat?
Yes, decent recline. Got the personal.
We lost audio.
Hold on.
I'm thinking it's your cable, buddy.
See, now I'm not hearing you.
Oh, really? Unplug.
But yeah, $61 separates you from the trash in the back and makes you feel like a person with an eye mask and earplugs and $61.
That's crazy. I've done an upgraded seat to sit closer to the front of a regular U.S. plane for $89. And that was
right.
Nothing fancy. It was the same size seat, maybe a little bit more leg
Right.
room. Like,
Well,
four
the
inches
flight
more leg room.
home, I was looking at American on the flight home, and for $93, you can move up, and it says standard leg room. That's all you get.
You're getting closer to the front.
Closer to the front for $93. $61 on Discover changes your life.
Wow.
I mean, really,
I'll keep that in mind if I get that airline at some point. Now, so what is the did you look into business class on the return flight? Because you may want to look at what the fee is.
On American, I looked. There's nothing available.
Okay.
Because it's 9. It's to Miami, Barcelona to Miami, 9 hours.
No, I was going to say,
which
if it was like
tough one, man.
350, you might be like,
It,
you know what? I busted my ass to get here. Let me just fucking ride business international
yeah.
because you have a flatbed,
Uh,
be totally revived, cocktails. You know what I mean?
that would change.
Sometimes there are certain flights where I fall asleep and I wake up. They go, "We're getting ready to land." I'm like, "No, no, no! I don't want to land."
Right. The guy next to me got on the plane, put a blanket on him, and then was asleep for at least 7 hours.
Wow!
7 straight. What slept right through. It
Wow!
was unbelievable. I watched Oppenheimer. I watched Inside Man, and I watched Public Enemies. Those are my three that
Wow!
got me through
I
it.
I I think I've seen all three of those. But that
Yeah.
guy, 7 hours straight. I mean, I've done 7 hours gay before, but that.
So jealous. Hey, now 7 hours eating, drinking. He's just late. He didn't move. It
Well,
was
we don't know where he came from, what kind of schedule
no,
he was on, and
no.
maybe he was
You're
just
right
looking
about it.
forward to that leg, going, "I'm just shutting down." I've seen people do that completely.
Great.
Do not disturb. They got the mask on, they're like, because when they hit the ground, maybe he's going to Formula One. He's going to have a big dinner somewhere, you know. But
Maybe I just wish I could do it. That sitting over on a plane, just I can sleep an hour or so, but I can't really go out and sleep. It's not real sleep for me. But by the way, did you like Oppenheimer? What was your take on that?
I did. You have to be in the right frame of mind to watch it, though. So overall, as a picture, it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm watching it. What's the big hype? Oh, it's well done. It's interesting. I'm watching the whole thing. And then I start thinking about it a couple of days later, and I'm like, oh, that was a good movie. That was
Yeah,
better than good. It was like pretty deep. Um, but you had
yeah.
it was a little arduous to stick with, you know. Uh,
I think on a plane, but everyone had told me or read it's very long. It's kind of arduous, whatever.
mhm,
I thought it was great. Moved very fast for me. I
mhm.
loved it. I wish he would have done the. I know Christopher Nolan doesn't do CGI. He doesn't like CGI,
No, he
and
likes the
he made the
Batman.
bomb with he made the
Yeah.
bomb with gas, and
Yeah.
it didn't look. It looked great. It didn't really look like the atomic bomb I was looking for. It looked like a big gas fire to me.
Hmm.
I wasn't like, but as a movie, I loved it. I didn't know anything about the guy, so then I spent the next few hours googling and reading about the guy.
Oppenheimer,
Oppenheimer.
the right way to invest.
Yeah,
Hmm.
died young, 62.
Yeah, well, all that radiation
Well, it was throat cancer. He was every
from the
scene. I had that
radiation.
cigarette,
Yeah,
that cigarette
yeah,
hanging.
absolutely.
Yeah.
We, um, I just read about that too. Oh, I've been listening to Steely Dan's Asia album, which I haven't heard in decades, and I just remember how great that was. But
Sure.
Walter Becker, the co-founder of Steely Dan, the band Steely Dan, he died of throat cancer because he was like
Yeah.
constantly, and
Yep.
because they were like jazz and blues, and pop fusion, but they were like real jazz guys, and they were like smoky jazz club and playing all night.
Who was the original drummer for Steely Dan
Ooh,
back in the day? Original when they were in college.
uh,
That's a hint.
someone famous, obviously.
Yeah, he was famous, but he was their drummer when they were just a college band. I don't even know. They were called Steely Dan, I think, for a little of that time. But yeah, Chevy
Uh,
Chase. Chevy Chase.
oh, I knew that. I knew that from
Well,
the
I don't
trivia
think you did.
from here. No, I mean I didn't remember it, but that was mentioned. Uh, Again, decades ago. I'm like, really?
Oh yeah,
No, I didn't believe it, but I didn't Google it 20, 25 years ago when someone said that.
yeah.
Hey, do you know where their name came from? Steely Dan?
I believe it's a dildo.
Yes,
Uh, yeah.
a phallic metal vibrator dildo
Uh-huh.
that they were in some like sex shop somewhere. I don't know if it was Times Square or anywhere, but
Yeah.
it was called Steely Dan. So they go, that's the name of our band.
Not a bad name.
Not a bad
Not a
name.
bad name. Remember George Carlin couldn't stand them. He would. I don't know if he real, but in his act, he would always use them as a douchebag. A guy named Tom, who listens to Steely Dan, was Carlin's a douchebag. That's just a douchebag. So whenever he described some asshole, it was Todd listening to Steely Dan.
I think they were so wildly
That's it.
popular. That's, when someone is like, because they played Asia album to death. And then even prior to that, their hits, they just were on the radio and limited amount of radio.
Yeah.
We had AM and FM, and they were on both constantly. And anybody who was listening to AM after they came out with a song called FM, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, no static at all. I guess FM radio became standard in the 70s, right? That's not all that long ago when you think about it.
Yeah, not that long ago.
Wow.
Album rock. Remember? Because the hits and FM had better sound, and they played album cuts that weren't hits. That made album rock. That made FM, where AM was you listen to when you're a kid, and then you become a teenager, you went to FM radio. I listen to FM.
Yeah.
I'm cool. Yeah.
FM
but a
radio.
lot of musicians didn't, and maybe still didn't like Steely Dan because it was too perfect. Everything was perfect. They didn't really tour. They were a studio band. They went in with we're going to make perfect records. And a lot of bands were like, that bullshit. You got to have a little grunt, you got to have a little dirt on there. You got to have a little, mistake maybe. But they didn't like that. Those records are amazing.
Yeah.
And those musicians they have on them are just, like, they didn't have a band. It's Becker and Fagan. And then the best session guys would join them.
But,
so they were different.
Yeah. Also, a lot of those session guys, as it's been reported, wanted to go on tour. And Donald Fagen and Walter Becker were like, no, we're into the perfection, and we'll do a show occasionally, make it a big thing. And they said, because those guys were, they were session, and they were probably making good money on and off, but not consistently. So if they had gone on tour, they had families to, kids to feed. They had mortgages. They're like, come on, man. We know this music. We've been working on the album for a year. We do it in our sleep. Let's go on tour and make millions. Yeah. And they're like, well, we're making millions. Yeah, because you fucking wrote the lyrics.
Right. No, that's the life of a session guy. That's like, you could watch, if you go see any big star, you'll always see this guy, Waddy Wachtel. He's a guitar player. He has blonde hair, long blonde hair. And if you go see, Cher, Waddy Wachtel's the lead guitar player. That's what he does. He just goes to whoever needs him. He's a hired gun, and he goes out for 6 months. But he's amazing, but nobody knows him. He wrote he put out a couple albums, nobody cared. But he's one of those guys. It's like not only a guy, but then he'll tour with the band, and he's the lead guitar player. Tough gig, because you're right. You have these guys, they are on the album. It's like, let's go play it. But then years later, Becker and Fagan toured nonstop. Fagan's still touring. They realize
Becker, obviously
we're not making albums anymore, and there's a lot of money on the road.
And well, it's not just the money at this point. They're so iconic, and I think it's important. I think it's their duty. If you make it to that level of fame and fortune, no matter how much money you have, you're in your 70s. If you can do it, the Rolling Stones, or get out there and perform. You too now. Just get out there and give it to the people. Give the experience. That's your duty. That's why I do it. That's right. That's why you're in Barcelona. You could have said. You could have told them. Said no. I'm staying home. I'm going to be with my girl. We're going to go out and wine and dine and ride our electric bikes.
Right.
To the beach.
Right.
But the company said, Al, we got to fly you to Barcelona. You're like,
I owe it to the people.
I owe it to the people. I owe it to the
I got to buy a $61 seat.
English-speaking people that aren't going to understand my act. I owe it to them.
Yes, I deserve to fly over here and bomb for 14 shows. I deserve it.
Bomb? Where you going, Gaza? Too soon.
Hey, now we're political now.
Oh God.
Anyway, I check out of the hotel today. I didn't get euros. I haven't done any of that transferring. I didn't do it, so I have no European money. So I'm like, all right, it's gonna be a little tricky. I got to get a cab and blah blah blah. Well, luckily, the boys from the band Phoenix. I don't know if you know Phoenix. They're the tribute band, well, cover band.
Mhm.
But anyway, they were leaving. They had two vans, and I was walking out with my stuff. They go, "Hey Al, if you'd like, you could jump in a van with us." It was I was part of Phoenix. Drove the port and checked. And I had the shortest hair amongst them, but I got a free ride with Phoenix, which was nice.
Very
Easy
nice.
check-in on the ship, no problem. It was all good so far. All
Pretty smooth. Yeah,
for what
the
we
Euro
usually
thing,
do.
you can do it without euros. Your buddy Al is a professional, and I often fly to Europe, and I always carry like 50 or 60 euros. And I have a backup wallet, and I'm not going to tell you where I keep it. And I have some pesos, I got Argentinian pesos, Mexican pesos. I always
Yes.
carry a little stash of extra money because sometimes you'll get into a situation, a taxi, no credit card, no credit cash, and you got to be prepared for that.
I was a
And
little worried, and they didn't
Mhm.
have an ATM at the hotel. I thought they would have an ATM at the hotel. They did not have one. And this hotel was again around nothing. So I was without uh I got it. But I don't know if I need it per se. But I remember when you and I were in Nassau years ago. Remember we got that guy on the street, we wanted to buy cigars,
right.
and you had some sort of phony money. What'd you have? I forget.
Was it
Do you remember what that
Venezuelan
was?
peso or something like that? It was something that said like 1 million pesos, and then we looked it
Yes.
up. It was worth $1.17.
Right. And we bought two cigars. You gave him the million pesos. He got us two cigars. And then we were walking. And then I go, hey Al, that guy must be he's following us. You're like, I go,
And we
he's
started to
following us.
scurry. We had a scurry. I held it up. I said, I don't know how much this is worth. It might be not worth anything. And he went, no, I take, because he had
Yes.
two old dried up
Well,
cigars.
his cigars were worth nothing, so why
Yeah.
not have
Well,
sell
because he
us
stole them
why not?
somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Well,
I'll take the $1.17, but he was hoping it was like $10 or something or more. It was
yeah.
pretty
But I
cool to
remember I
see
was like,
that.
why do you have I remember like, why are you holding $1 million peso or something? Like you had this,
I wish I kept it
on yeah.
and framed it to say
Yeah.
1 million pesos. What is that?
Where
That
was
shows
that? Do you remember?
that shows you
where
what
that is?
inflation has done to their currency, which is it's worth nothing, and
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
poverty is so. Ugh. Well, it
But I
wasn't
figure
Chilean, right? It was Venezuelan, right?
I think it was Venezuelan. Yeah, that sounds correct. But I figure, go out, have a lunch, a coffee, blah blah blah. I'll be fine. Maybe I'll get some or
You can
not.
use your
But
credit card anywhere now.
yeah,
The thing
yeah.
is, if you go to one of the ATMs, there's a lot of fees, transaction
Well, that was
fees.
it.
And
In the
sometimes some guy
airport,
will be standing there with his pants down with a hard on going, go ahead, take some money out. I'll
where's
get your
that one?
back. Where he fucks you up the
Where?
ass because you're going to get screwed with fees.
Where's that guy? Do you have an address?
I shouldn't have gone with Phoenix. God damn it.
When I was when I had a layover in Frankfurt, and I went to the ATM.
Did
I
you
was
bring
gonna get
mustard
euros.
with you? You're hoping we're frozen, right?
My brain froze at that fucking joke. But I went to the ATM and they only had 50 pesos available. That's all you could choose.
Mm-hmm.
So I hit it, and then it came up with the fees. It was $210 American, and I'm like, well, I'm not spending $210 to get 150 in the airport in Frankfurt. So I passed.
Oh, wait a
on
minute.
it.
You're talking about euros. You said pesos.
Euros in Frankfurt.
How much
You
was it going to
jumped in with your
cost?
joke. You were so excited about that mustard joke, you didn't listen to anything.
But you why is this a surprise to you? You've been doing this podcast with me for 4 years. Why are you like upset by this? You should be
I'm
used
not
to it.
upset. I'm just saying. But then when I continue, you're like, "Whoa, wait, what? What'd you say? What was that?"
There was a little delay and you froze for a
All
second,
right.
but go ahead.
Yeah, a few miles and time zones away.
I'll tell you what, if this podcast ended tomorrow, you'd be like, gee, I miss those mustard jokes.
I don't think so. But No, it was a $60 difference in US and euros.
Yeah, you have to actually take a larger sum of money out to make it worth it.
Yeah. I was like, I'm not paying 210 to get 150. That's crazy.
Yeah, the $60 is crazy. So, but
No.
I think if you took out like 300, it would have been still 60 or 500.
Yeah.
Still, there's a gap where it's the same amount. So they're encouraging you to take out more money.
Well, yeah, but the thing was it said today, as of right now, only 150 available.
Wow.
That's all. So I couldn't get more than even if I wanted to. And then I had to pay 210 to get 150. And I'm like, no, I'll get some mustard on that Frankfurter and
yeah, and it also depends on your bank. Your bank may have an international affiliation with certain banks where their fees are going to be much lower. They say American Express gives you the best exchange rate if you use that, but a lot of places don't take American Express. So it's like, what the fuck?
That's right.
Visa, MasterCard when you're traveling. But yeah, suck up that, I would say suck that fee up, whatever it is at the time, and just keep those euros in your wallet so that you'll have it handy.
Well, I don't know if I'll be back. I don't know, but who knows? Kind of on the icon for the rest of
they're not going to expire.
Who knows next year? But yeah, it's true. That is true.
Some of my euros have been in my wallet for 2 years. I didn't even go through them.
Condoms?
Those as well.
Oh, I thought you used the word euros meant condoms. We won some money last week. My niece Olivia came to town, and we took her to the casino.
That's what you want to do. You want to get them, get them young, get them addicted to the gambling.
21, she drinks, smokes cigars, and gambles. I think I've done a good job. I think I was
smoking cigars and drinking with your niece when she was 19, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
I'm talking about you weren't there. Anyways.
But yeah, they were playing some slots, and I can't hear we're getting a little
it's a little choppy. Yeah,
with the time zone shit, it's like I'm
you're 6 hours ahead. You're in the Med. I'm going down the coast, coming up on Cape Canaveral, Florida. So
yeah, quite different.
Still pretty amazing technology, nonetheless.
Yeah, no, I give it that. But we were playing slots, and Olivia had and Olivia had $40, and she lost it instantly.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kelly, while I was playing, Kelly won 900. She hit for 900, and she was being very quiet about it. She was like,
"Yeah."
And I walk past, and Olivia and I walk past. She's like, "Look." So she won 900, which was great. I mean, that's a nice hit. And then Kelly gave Olivia 100 and said, "Play with this now, and we'll continue." And then Olivia hit for 800. Yeah.
Why are you in Barcelona?
Exactly. So we took 100 back for. She won $700. Got to keep 700, which was nice. And then I played some blackjack and wanted to teach her how to play
African American Jack. Ask Tom Cotter.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, I don't want to get canceled again. But it was 20. The Hard Rock, it's like 6 p.m. Their lowest table is $25, which is ridiculous. Ridiculous. So
what day of the week?
It was Monday.
There should be a $10 table.
Of course. So I played 25. I took 100 and I played some hands. So I ended up got to show her the game, and then I won like $50, but I got out of there because it's like
it's gonna go back.
I don't want to play 25 a hand. It's not fun.
No.
Unless I was with a bunch of guys drinking, whatever. But that still, I wouldn't do 25.
$10.
Yeah, 10. Because you're gonna be splitting and doubling. So suddenly you might have, I don't want $100 hand out there when I'm, Mm-hmm. Anyway, it was a productive day at the casino, and it's nice when that happens. Now next time it won't be that way, but that's why you go gamble.
Recouping gambling money over the past, half a dozen trips to the casino when you're doing it
Yeah.
recreationally. It's
Yeah.
nice because then it's like, all
Yeah.
right,
No, it was good. And I mean, basically, Kelly and I, when we go to the casino, it's just to have a couple drinks and a little fun. And if we win, great. If we lose, we're
you're
probably going
paying
to
for,
lose.
you're,
So,
you're paying for entertainment at that point.
yeah,
Unless
we
you're a
know.
big gambler putting in thousands and all that. But
Yeah.
last year in Aruba, I went with Aruba Ray Allen. We went to play some blackjack. And I think I walked away with like 350, 360 above my whatever, 150, 200 that I put in. And I was fucking
Yeah.
beaming. And then I went back 1 year later, I lost $360.
Right. Well,
And I was like this. And I'm like,
yeah. Well, the worst,
all I
there's no
lost was
worse
what I won.
feeling,
That basically, that's
but there's no greater feeling than winning money is so great, but then losing it is
horrible.
worse. So it levels out. And let's get a coffee shot. Raise that mug. We got 2 Royal Caribbean mugs going. There we go.
That's the Steve Smith look.
That guy has too much free time.
He's very much into the AI, but he's got it down now. He's programmed it. He's got a little bit of Rain Man going on there, where he's
autism.
Like little well, he's got a little genius gene that's floating around and it keep pew, pew, pew. He's assisting me.
The other Steve Smith has a genius gene.
Yeah, but it's part-time.
I don't think anyone's ever said that.
I coined the expression. That's why El Ducharme can be pretty
all right,
profound at times.
Yes,
if I may say so myself. As my narcissism may think.
I would just never put the word genius with Steve Smith. That blew my mind right there. No one would do that other than you.
Well, you remember Ray Man? You dropped 282 toothpicks, fell on the ground. He was able to count it as soon as they fell out.
Right.
He's got that going on. He's got.
Well, that would be straws.
Oh, okay. You're right. It was straws, and take Steve Smith to the casino. Yeah.
Right.
You're going to kill
it.
If
you didn't know, folks, Steve Smith used to do a bit about straws. I don't know the bit, but I used to see a picture with Steve at 50 straws coming out of a drink. I don't know what the joke was or the bit, if there was. Do you know the picture I'm talking about?
That's his signature bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
What was the bit, though? You know it?
I don't recall. I think Yeah, I don't recall.
No one does. Yeah.
I know it's
a bit. We lost a fellow comedian.
We did. Quentin Heggs, Q, as we call it, New York City. I worked with him for many years at Dangerfields.
Sure.
I'm not sure of his exact age, but I think it was a bit premature and unexpected. So I haven't communicated with him since I moved away from New York City some 12, 13 years ago. But it was kind of sad when you see somebody who you knew and is not too much older than you are, and then was always nice to you.
Yeah.
So, cordial, nice, and good vibes.
Very nice guy.
Complimentary.
Very nice guy. Yeah. Real kind of old school, like really loved put on a show. Like he was 3 people. He would MC at Dangerfields, and that was not an easy gig. And he got them going, and he was very likable guy, really nice.
Super likable.
Hell of a nice guy. I don't know what happened. It's just kind of shocking because everyone seems sudden because he was talking to people like 2 days before about stuff. And,
right.
Don't know. Had no details. I didn't know what was the skin condition. He had a skin condition.
I think it was I think that's that particular thing. I don't remember what you call it. Some African American people will, black people in general, can get this skin. I guess Michael Jackson had it, and then Michael Jackson embraced it and decided to become a white man and had the nose job, the chin, and the skin.
Yeah,
all the way.
It was strange because I remember seeing him one time. We did a gig in like Pennsylvania, and before the show, like in a couple hours, he didn't have the makeup on.
Right. I never knew he had makeup on.
His skin was yeah. A lot of his skin was white, then it was black. I was like, whoa. And he goes, I want to get on stage and do it, but I'm not there yet. But he did end up going on stage.
towards
with
the end
that
there. Yeah.
look.
The
Yeah,
last
which
couple of
was great.
years. Yeah. Because he would post pictures of it. And I was like, I would say hi and whatnot.
Right.
But I didn't go, dude, what's going on?
Well, the makeup was great. He really did a good job. I mean,
I
I
never
never knew,
knew. I never
you know,
knew.
he
I
was
work
doing
with,
blackface, which I'm offended by. But what are you going to?
he
I
would love that joke. He probably did it. I'm
That's
sure
it.
he
He probably.
did
I hope he did. I hope he did. If he didn't, come on.
it. Well, Q, we're thinking
But
about you, and
yeah,
you always greeted me when I walked into Dangerfields. I
yeah,
worked in Vegas with him for a week. We had such a great time. Um, yeah, Q, thanks for sharing your smiles and laughs with us over the many, many, many years. There you go.
yeah. Very simple. Just out of the blue. I mean, I didn't talk to him either since I moved, but when you open Facebook, that's what Facebook's
Oh,
kind of become now. This
memorial.
oh yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, really, it's becoming that. And I opened it up, and there was his picture, and then I couldn't believe it when I read that he had passed. But just a good, nice guy. You could just say like always just friendly,
hmm
nice, and you can see it on Facebook when someone's like that. Everything's positive. Everybody
Everybody's
loves this.
posting pictures of him
Yeah,
and saying great things because when you have that memory, you have a memory of
yeah,
someone being an asshole to you or super nice,
yeah.
and he was super nice. So,
Always. Yeah,
mhm.
yeah. So
All
yeah,
right.
that was But hate to end it on a downer, but he was a hell of a guy and funny. And he was going to do the last thing I saw on Facebook. They were doing a reunion at Dangerfield. Someone bought Dangerfields, turned it
Okay.
into Rodney's.
hmm
Let's see how long that lasts. Rodney's, I don't know. And they were going to do a show there, but that it didn't happen. And I don't, for whatever reason, I don't know. But he was posting about the
hmm
reunion show, and that was only 2 weeks ago.
Right.
So
And
scary.
yeah, again, there was Nancy Redmond. She was the house MC for many years, and then it went to
Right.
Q. So, and
Right.
I spent many years. That was kind of my home club for about 3 years, Dangerfields,
No,
and
that's not good.
I thought it was great. Are you kidding me? The biggest complaint of comedians doing these,
Dangerfield, it's not good.
let me explain, seven
Right.
to 8 minutes in the other clubs, maybe 10 minutes if you're lucky, stage time. And then you go
Right.
on the road and you got to do 45 to an hour. And these guys are having such a hard time. Dangerfields
Right.
gave you 30 minutes during the week
Yep.
to work out new material, do whatever. And that jump
True.
to do longer sets on the road. And I was doing a lot of colleges back then. So I was able to do prom shows even and whatnot. So I was locked and loaded and my calendar was full. And I thank
Right.
Dangerfields for that stage time and
Now
having
yeah,
someone like you greet you when you come in and giving you the best intro.
yeah,
So,
yeah. I remember, and the woman you mentioned, Nancy Redmond. I remember only met her a few times, but I went to a gig in Connecticut, and we were at the hotel. I was checking in, and this lady
you
was
fucked her.
checking in. Nancy Redmond all weekend, just nonstop. It was unbelievable. She had her. She didn't have luggage. She didn't have luggage. She had brown shopping food bags full of clothes. She looked homeless,
Wow.
and I didn't
Bag
know who she
lady.
was. So I was checking in, and this homeless lady next to me with bags, and
Mhm.
they go, "What's your name?" And then I heard her go, "No, I'm with Joker's Wild or whatever. I think it was Joker's Wild." And I look at her. I go, "Are you a comedian?" She goes, "Yeah, I'm Nancy." I go, "Oh, I'm Al." And I was like, I
Did you
never,
say, where's your luggage?
I didn't say it because I didn't know her, and I
Was it a
didn't get to
weekend?
know
It was
her.
a weekend gig or a 3 day?
Weekend, yeah, Friday, Saturday.
So she just took a paper bag on like a bus or a train or something. And
Yes, yes, yes.
oh, wow. Okay.
It was very strange.
Nancy
But
had a good heart.
why do you
So,
have?
but
Yeah, yes.
yeah.
But I know she was there forever. She was
She
emceeing
probably
there.
didn't go on the road much at all because she was there for
Well, she
many,
can't. She
many
didn't have
years.
luggage. You can't go on the road with a paper bag, dude. You
Yes,
need.
you can. She proved that to you.
Well, you can't check that. You can't fly. You gonna
Overhead.
check your bag?
No, overhead.
Well, I don't want somebody putting a Food Town bag overhead. I'm gonna, that could be
I see it
some
all the time. I see people coming on. They don't
Armenian
want to pay
meal.
those fees. So they're coming on. They got like a personal item and one overhead.
Yeah,
And then some
I
flight
hate the
attendant will
guy
come
who
down and
takes
say,
his
"You
bag.
can't put that bag. You got to put it under your seat." They're like,
Right.
"My backpack's there. I'm allowed 2 items. I know the rules."
I I hate the guy who brings his bag to the gate knowing they're going to check it, but he won't pay for checking. So he brings his bag and then they go, we'll check that for free.
Right. But there's some airlines that are not doing that now. They're charging at the gate. They changed the rules.
Good.
And that's when a few weeks ago, I had a Filipino woman. I put it together. She was actually getting on a cruise ship as an employee, but she had flown in from the Philippines like 16 hours. Oh, your internet connection is unstable, but I'm going to get through this.
We're unstable, buddy.
She had extra bags because she didn't want to spend $150 on, and they were trying to charge her $65 for a carry-on because it didn't fit in the little thing. Because she went from international to whatever, and and her card got declined, and they wouldn't take cash. So she said, she came over, tears in her eyes. Will you pay for my bag? I'll give you cash. I'll give you cash. She goes, I just flew in from the Philippines and I got to make this flight to make my thing. And I'm like, right away, I said, she's crew. And I walked right up with my credit card. I go, because the counter person can't take cash. Cameras, right. They can't do it. So I said, Can I pay for her bag? She's reimbursed me. He said, yes, please do. And they were bored. They were just calling last call. So she was like crying. She's like, thank you so much. And she walked out. And I got emotional myself because I saw her predicament, but.
And you fucked her.
All weekend long. And that's our podcast. Woo! We made it. Many technical issues, but we made it. And testicle issues as well. What?
So long, man. Have a good trip. F*** you.
Iceberg dead ahead. Don't forget to review us and rate us. It really helps.
The Talking Dicks became friends at a very young age, and the rest is history.
I'm losing my mind.
Patreon.com/The2Dicks, which is named after our web series. This is the Two Owls, One Pod podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
What? Done.
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
We'll fix it in post, you son of a bitch.
Okay, sure.
All right. Subscribe. Mary. This was a horrible mistake.
Go to patreon.com/forwardthe2dicks.
If you shoot me, you won't see a cent of that money. Why?
I think it ends on that. That's beautiful.